What is up, guys? So there is quite a debate on one of my TikTok videos that I posted a while ago. Actually, it's over a year old now, and the theme is how to inflate Presta valves. Pretty straightforward normally, right? If you're a cyclist. The debate is whether or not Presta valves are now like the regular valve. They are now the standard in the cycling industry, and a lot of people contradicted to that. There are a lot of comments, and it's actually quite a nice discussion in my opinion, because people, they always speak of regular valves. Now, what is a regular valve? So I decided, let's just break it down. Let's check out the different valve types. Of course, we're only going to be comparing the Presta and the Schrader valves today. First of all, we have the Schrader valves. The valves that the people in the comments claim that they are the standard, they are the regular valves, they are much better. But the main discussion is, of course, which kind of valve do you see more in the bicycle industry? Let's check out the valve right here. The Schrader valves are generally the fatter ones. You may know them from your car. We have almost 8 millimeter in diameter here. And of course, those valves are really present, as I said, on your car. You basically find these on your car, on your motorcycle. So if you drive a car and you ride your bike less than you drive a car, you will of course encounter a lot more Schrader valves, of course. And when do you find one of those on a bicycle? Well, we have here a cheap, low-end mountain bike, California. That's a brand that's distributed here in Switzerland, and it's basically known for rather low quality bikes. I mean, look at the cranks right here. I hope they are metal, but they are ultra cheap. And also the rest of the bike. This is actually still one of the better ones, because you still find a cup and cone bearing style hub from Shimano here. Nowadays they have much cheaper hubs even. And those are generally the bikes where you still find Schrader valves on. Also, you find them on kids' bikes, and maybe some kind of stroller, or I don't know what, with really small wheels. And of course, the Schrader valves are easier to live with in terms of possibility to pump them. You can basically pump them at every gas station that you find, and there's also less chance of damaging them because the valve core is actually inside, nice and hidden, nice and protected. So the pumping procedure is generally easier and faster, because you don't need to open up the valve core. You can just put the pump on and go ahead and pump. But that's not really the discussion in the comments, right? It's more about which valve is around on the bicycles. So let's check out the bicycles that we have here in our little shop. We have a mountain bike, hardtail mountain bike, right? With high quality DT Swiss rims, XM481. And we find a Presta tubeless valve on there. Also in the front, of course, we have a Presta tubeless valve. The Presta valve is a lot smaller in diameter. You see the valve core is right here, and you basically screw it open in order to pump it. Also, then you close it again. They are much smaller in diameter, so the hole in the rim is also smaller in diameter, which makes the rim stronger at this point, of course. Otherwise, it will be a weaker point if we have a bigger diameter. So this is one of the main reasons, I guess, back in the days, of course, for road bikes. They had much narrower rims. Nowadays, of course, we see always fatter rims for road bikes as well. But back in the days, those narrow rims, they just did not have the space for a Schrader valve. So something smaller needed to be invented and placed in those rims. And then, of course, somehow it would become the standard of the bicycle industry, it seems. And of course, the argument for a stronger rim was also a nice argument for the manufacturer at every point, right? Why not make a strong rim? And also here we have the carbon rim with a Presta valve. This is a road bike. And there we have a city bike with a Schrader valve. But this is like 1 in 50 bikes that I see that have a Schrader valve on them. Here we go, we have a gravel bike with a wider rim, of course, a Presta valve again. There we have another gravel wheel, gravel specific rim also, so a bit wider. And we have a Presta valve. So you could say that like the rule is The higher end the bike is, the more likely it is that it has a Presta valve on it. This right here is just a model that I have to show you guys. It is a tubeless valve, Presta valve of course, with a removable valve core right here. You see it screws open and it closes again. Presta valves are also generally lighter, so rotating weight will be less. If you follow bicycle industry news, it's always a marketing argument, right? So why not put something lighter on your rim? Why not have it better balanced than with a Schrader valve, which will be heavier? Also, tubeless tires in general. In mountain biking, tubeless is now pretty much the standard. I mean, it has really great features, and why would you even ride mountain bike with an inner tube? It will only cause a lot of problems, of course. Then in gravel also we see a lot of benefits with tubeless, and even road now. I think 90% of the professional peloton rides tubeless now. I get it, they have professional mechanics that take care of their wheels, of their tires, of their sealant, of everything. But performance-wise, there is a benefit, right? Otherwise, the pros wouldn't ride it. Back in the days, tubular tires were pretty much the standard, also because of safety. Once you had a flat tire, would not just come off the rim. With tubeless, that is the case, of course, if you have really bad luck. But rolling resistance is so low, puncture protection is really good, so that tubeless now is pretty much a standard as well. Of course, I recommend that you ride tubeless with a tire that has a minimum width of 28 millimeters. If you have a 25 millimeter, then the pressure just will be that high that it may not be beneficial anymore. Of course, you still have the puncture protection. If you go tubeless, in my opinion, it's always good to go with a wider tire so you get all the benefits and you really feel the difference. So that's for tubeless. Tubeless valves only really come in the Presta shape, right? Have you ever seen a Schrader tubeless valve? I have not, and I've been working in this industry for over 10 years now. So I think they don't bother making a Schrader tubeless valve, right? So Presta is the way to go for performance bikes. From the people that work in the industry, I never really heard a lot of mechanics or shop owners complain about the Presta valves. That never really seemed to be a problem. They seem to be fine up until this point that it is pretty much the standard that you find on almost every bike out there. Of course, we always have a different point of view, i.e. the customer and the shop owner and the mechanic. And we have some people that regularly stop by to have their bikes with Presta valves pumped because they have a hard time pumping it. But then again, also the Schrader valve gives them a hard time sometimes. So in conclusion, I think that it's no surprise that the Presta valve is that present in the cycling industry because we have a lot of benefits that come from those tiny little valves right here. But if you kept your eyes and ears open, from Schwalbe there is a new kind of standard coming, and it is called the click valve. It should be easier to connect your pump to this click valve and then also of course to pump it up. And it is claimed that you have minimal to no air loss at all once you remove the pump, which is really cool because you always have some loss once you remove the pump from your valve. But let me know in the comment section below. I hope there are some bicycle mechanics or shop owners or the like that can give me a little bit of insight into their thoughts on Presta valves. In my opinion, of course, this really is a standard now for the bicycle industry, especially if you have high performance bikes or just bikes that you use for sports in general, and it is not a commuter, city or kids bike. Thank you for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.